Hey folks, MasakoX here. The Dragon Ball Roundtable that we do mostly on Fridays is a place where we invite creativity from the community, as well as a means to support the channel, either through donations or ideas. And boy, have you folks given us some rather interesting and compelling ideas over the years. Recently, we managed to find a very strong candidate for the April Fool's What If this year, so definitely stay tuned for that one. And another stalwart, by the way, Vegeta being female, that'll happen at 750,000 subscribers. So if you want to see that become a reality, you better subscribe, and to tell everyone you know to do the very same if you want to see the princess of all Saiyans come to life. However, today's topic, which had been a regular request from these streams, had been one that, back in the day, surprised the three of us. Why would people want to see more of Turles? Haverock and I realized that you could easily make an interesting and deep story for the guy, so long as you were able to be a little bit more flexible with the approach. Fortunately, thanks to the latest manga saga and what lore it brought to us, we had the catalyst in which to make this idea a reality. Today's video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. After visiting Japan 3 years ago, I missed the selection of snacks and treats that they had on offer. Not overly sweet, subtle flavors, which are a delicacy for the taste buds and the eyes. Thankfully, these two treat subscription boxes cover you for all sorts of experiences you may wish to indulge in. Sakura Co, for example, is a monthly Japanese subscription box full of the authentic traditional Japanese snacks from Japan's local artisan snack makers. For the more mature and culturally rich selection, Sakura Co's divine range of delicate offerings, as well as special ceramic dish and tea, really set the mood for an authentic and traditional adventure to Japan. If you're however more into the popular side of Japanese candies and snacks that you're more familiar with, Tokyo Treat's got you covered. Tokyo Treat is the monthly Japanese subscription box full of the popular Japanese candies and snacks, like Japan-exclusive Kit Kat, Ramune, ramen, and much more. These boxes are perfect for a Valentine's gift too, since the majority of these snacks are Valentine themed for this month, so the person you love will feel absolutely cherished and sated with all of these treats. And if you find something new, there's a 24-page booklet there to help you out. If all that I've said has piqued your curiosity for the tastes of Japan, check out the link in my description and on screen, and also use the coupon codes KitKat22 to get a bonus Kit Kat in your first Tokyo Treat box, or use the promo code TIGER to get bonus Japanese home goodies in your first Sakura Co box. Once again, a huge thank you from these two for sponsoring this video, and do let me know in the comments which box that you're thinking of subscribing to. Now let's get back to the video. After seeing his squad being completely dismantled by Goku, the leader of the Force was utterly devastated with seeing all of his allies falling one by one in such a malodorous and heinous way. Usually, he could keep his cool in troubled events like this, but even this was something that was testing the captain to his limits. Even though the odds were looking stacked against him and his friends, Captain Ginyu was not the one to just stand around looking at the incoming defeat in the face and simply giving up. With a calm breath and steadying of the nerves, he decides to take matters into his own capable hands. If he was going to be going down this day, then he was gonna go down fighting with every ounce of gusto and strength that he had left. For his friends, for Freeza! He starts with elbowing the Saiyan in the face, which gets promptly blocked. That usually worked. Said situation puzzled Turles as well, even further than he already felt. Not only was Kakarot's power level naturally too low to allow for things like this to be a reality, but Kakarot was also holding back power. He could tell from his movements, Turles, that Goku or Kakarot or whatever was reining in some of his latent power. And this just left the pirate all the more scared and angry that Bardock's kid was holding off on power, whereas his father would have gone all out from the start to stamp his position in the faces of those who would dare try and oppose him. What a farce. Well, probably the best for his own psyche, he didn't have much time to think about this, because himself and Vegeta had to take care of Jace and Berta, finishing them off. The two of them very much on the brink of death right now, but were still ready to fight even though they thought they were going to be offed very soon. Meanwhile, Nail was forced to retreat to Guru's location, as he sensed that Freeza was approaching his master, and even though the Ginyu Force was strong, he couldn't leave his master on his own. That was his original job, to protect Guru and their race from harm. The fight then gets to a pretty interesting point, as if things couldn't get any more interesting. The captain and Goku had settled into their typical situations within this tussle. They seemed to be on equal footing actually, whilst Vegeta and Turles were clearly winning after the post-sensu boost they had just received, and yeah, they take care of business with the remaining two grunts of Ginyu. After some more time of dueling, Ginyu expresses the desire to see Goku's full power. He postured that he commended this rather spirited fighter, and that, as one last humble request before he would be so surely offed by this one, he wanted to see his rival's entire power right there. Goku, in the heat of battle, obliges, which prompts a Saiyan to use Kaioken, much to everyone's surprise. Okay, thought the pirate, now he had seen everything. Turles' jaw drops, right in the middle of his own battle. It actually almost leaves him open to an attack from Jace, who is still trying to gain an upper hand, even though he's bleeding out. Stop gawping, you! If you're gonna kill me, at least give me your attention when you do it, said a rather angry and wounded Red Cheese Man. Nevertheless, Turles' scatter was clear. 180,000? How? How did he get that high in such a short amount of time? It had taken Turles years to get to a fraction of that. And now, the disgrace of a son to Bardock was able to breathe past previous limits and was now on the cusp of destroying Frieza's elite squad in a matter of minutes. Turles' entire understanding for almost everything right now was being completely wrecked. Vegeta, however, was able to deal with Berta with very little difficulty or distraction. But even for him, it wasn't easy. He is trying his best to not get too distracted by Goku's success against the leader of the Ginyu Force. It did help him that he had personal history with the Ginyu Force, so taking out Berta with minimal fuss felt very satisfying for the prince. Will you stop wasting everyone's time, Kakarot, and get on with it? Turles silently cursed out the prince after he witnesses that Ginyu had inflicted a pretty notable injury on himself, which greatly confuses everyone. The Crusher Corps leader, however, can feel that he is trying something funny, but has no time to react when the captain's body change technique hits Goku. He knew it was something strange, not a regular attack, but this was almost stranger than Kakarot's sudden burst in power. This is bad. Very bad. Gohan and Krillin attempt to stop the technique from being carried out, but he seems to be stronger, and thusly, the change succeeds, and the two parties wake up in each other's bodies. Turles, however, notes that Goku Ginyu's power was off, around about 23,000, which is weirdly too low. This wasn't right. This was pedestrian in comparison to what he had just witnessed. But then it hit him. Of course. It turns out that this idiot was too desperate to turn the tides in his favor, used that dumb technique, that he was unable to correctly utilize Kakarot's body when he landed in it, which gives them some place to maneuver. Turles smiles. If it came to it, he wouldn't mind beating on this Goku Ginyu guy somewhat. Meanwhile, Vegeta steps in to help Turles destroy Jace finally, which greatly angers Goku Ginyu. Both Turles and himself then decide to give Ginyu Goku a beating, and surprise, surprise, their strength is enough to deal with the villain. Turles felt so good after that. As Ginyu is about to switch bodies for a second time to get his revenge on Turles and Vegeta, Goku throws a Namekian frog in the middle of the beam, returning to his own body. Sadly though, it's pretty beaten up. He could feel a sudden surge of pain course through his very brain the moment he opened his eyes in his own body again. He wanted to scream and yell in agony, but he was so exhausted and beaten up, he could barely speak, let alone shout. Looming over him, Vegeta and Turles figure out their next move. So, what do we do with him? Vegeta tries to look smug. Do we leave him here to rot? Or for Freeza to find him? I don't mind either. Turles shook his head. We are going to heal him, as my team healed you. Vegeta looked surprised. He knew about Turles' grievances with Kakarot, so to help him, rather than kill him when he had the chance, like he had wanted to for so long, was bizarre. We can settle our little quarrel later, after we've made sure that we aren't dealing with an immortal Freeza. Vegeta tries to gloat about his newfound power, but both Goku and Turles seem to know that he is not completely serious about this. Turles calls in Amon in order to grab Kakarot, taking him back to the ship, where they can heal up. Then Krillin and Gohan meet with Dende, who shares the instructions on how to summon Porunga. The problem is, though, is that they have to distract Vegeta and Turles first, if they want to keep them from finding out and wishing on the dragon themselves. But what chances did they have against both of them? Also, Gohan was pretty sure that the threat of the Tree of Might was hanging in the air as well. If they went behind their backs, Turles could whip out the tree, destroy the planet that way, and everyone on it. But the prospect of an immortal Vegeta felt worse. They are also contacted by Piccolo through King Kai, who suggests that they should revive him in order for Earth's Dragon Balls to return. In the end, Gohan realizes what gamble he needs to take. They've got to work with Turles. He uses a moment where Vegeta is not around to his advantage and approaches Turles, aware that the pirate had a personal fascination in the young lad, so he'd hopefully listen.
"We need your help in distracting Vegeta. We know how to wish on the dragon."
Turles looked mildly curious. "Oh? And why would you think I would help you, kid? Why would you assume that I'd even consider helping you?"
"Because I'm pretty sure that the Dragon Balls are not your true plan in getting more power, and that you guys have more of those seeds that we saw back on Earth. And also, that you want to have a rematch against my dad. If Vegeta is getting immortality, that's not gonna happen."
Turles pondered this for a while. Pragmatic. I'm starting to like you, kid. But what was your wish going to be?
"We're gonna bring Mr. Piccolo back, which will restore our Dragon Balls."
Clever. All right, I'll bite. But if you double-cross me, you and that ball friend of yours are dead. And so, Turles decided to discuss the plan with Vegeta some more, whilst Dende, Krillin and Gohan snuck away with the Dragon Balls. While it took a while for the prince to realize, he had noticed a huge dragon appearing in the distance. It was too late for him to stop it though, whilst Porunga was around.
Wait! Did those little wretches just... Oh, you were in cahoots with them, Turles. I knew it! You want to backstab me, you treacherous fool!
Vegeta got furious. Don't take this personally, Prince. We all know that that wish of yours would have been wasted on you. Vegeta gets closer to the dragon, attempting to stop our heroes from getting even more wishes, but Turles stops him. This then started a proper duel between Vegeta and Turles. Turles then thought to himself that he was right. He knew that this would happen eventually, them fighting amongst themselves, but they were pretty evenly matched though, and who knows how it would end if someone else hadn't appeared on the stage and disrupted things. Not only that, but after just 2 wishes, the Dragon Balls were then rendered powerless. And this new opponent is Freeza.
"Oh, do go on. I do love seeing monkeys bicker amongst themselves. I'd be even more willing to do so if you hadn't just wasted my wishes."
Turles and Vegeta quickly decide to bury the hatchet in a rather panicked way. They charge on Freeza, who appears to be decently surprised by their power. And then he transforms to his second form and starts to demolish the pair of them with relative ease. Turles tries to order his people to plant the seed, but his scouter gets destroyed by Freeza, so he can't contact them. After many twists and turns, the help comes from Piccolo, who is surprisingly strong, and he seems to be on a pretty equal term with second form Freeza, making Turles really question his reality some more. How? How are these fools able to get power this quickly? Still, it's not enough to beat Freeza either, as he transforms again, which may soon get Frieza's attention.
All right, I need another boost. You know what to do.
Turles smirks. I'm going to enjoy this. The pirate nods and beats the Saiyan to the brink of death in order for Dende to heal him. This then prompts Freeza to deal with the annoyance that is the little healer and transforms into his final form. Vegeta boasts about his power boost and decides to challenge Freeza himself, whilst Turles feels that he has had enough of that and decides to sneak away during the fight. Well, I say fight, more like one-sided beating. The prince is done for, but he has provided a precious distraction for everyone. He decides to plant the seed, Turles, and watch the fight from afar. It is a really sad sight to witness. Freeza would probably notice a huge tree growing, but hopefully Turles would be able to take a fruit in the nick of time and get strong enough to beat him before any of that happens. Luckily, Vegeta has proven to be a pretty decent toy for the Space Emperor, who enjoyed playing with this one, so he was not interested or aware of a giant tree stretching up to the heavens. But, in a pretty unexpected manner, Turles' own ship arrives, seeing the tree and Kakarot emerging from the inside. He decides to confront Freeza, and Vegeta is taunting the Emperor some more with the prospect of Kakarot becoming the legendary Super Saiyan, which causes him to be death-beamed in the chest from Freeza. So long, you fool! Meanwhile, the tree is getting big enough for Freeza to notice, but for now, he has his eyes set on Goku. The two begin their climactic duel, and much to Turles' shock and disbelief, Kakarot is able to hold his own against Final Form Freeza, at least for a while. The fight seems to be over when Kakarot decides to use the Spirit Bomb, seemingly destroying Freeza, the same technique he had used against the Tree of Might. Well, this is interesting. The planet itself seems to be withered enough for Turles to try and take a bite from the fruit. As Turles is about to leave on his ship, he notices that Frieza's not dead. Alright guys, you people get out of here and plant the seeds somewhere else. I need to make sure that neither Kakarot or Freeza will make it out alive from here. Don't worry, I shall meet up with you later. And Turles decides to try his newfound power against the Emperor, believing that after the Spirit Bomb, it would be more than enough to defeat him.
I have no idea who you are.
Freeza is done playing, and even with the boost from the fruit, Turles is no match for him. Goku and Piccolo try their best to help him, which causes the Namekian to be badly wounded. Then he decides to anger Goku even further, Freeza, simply killing Krillin. In hindsight, Turles realizes that that might have been a bad idea. Freeza angrily blasts a tree as well, unaware that it could have provided him with an even bigger boost, and prepares to finish off Goku, who seems really enraged at this point. But before that, something else happens. Something which changes Kakarot. Turles is losing his mind, even though he is bleeding out on the ground. Could it be? Could he really be? But that would mean, if Kakarot, with all that softness in his heart, was able to reach that, then maybe, he was wrong the whole time. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.